Hi, Computer Science 2 class. This is lesson 16, an overview of each activity and screen. And hopefully this will help answer some of the questions that you have, give you some guidance when you're working through this one if you haven't done it already, or if you've been marked down on any of the lessons and need to go back and redo them, this might help you go through and get them correct. So I'm going to share my screen, and just like with 15, we're going to go through each one of the screens and I will show you what you're supposed to be doing with it. Okay, so first screen, just the overview. Of course, here is our new block, is touching. So we're going to determine if sprites are touching each other and then have something happen. Okay, we're also going to use a little bit of the sprite.debug just so that we can fix problems in here. But mostly we're dealing with the is touching and then a target. So here, screen 2, you're not going to change any code. You are just going to look at this and determine what code you think the computer would need to know to determine if the two sprites were touching. So remember, we have a frog and a mushroom. We'll come back to those two at the end of the lesson. So screen 3, we have two sprites, a balloon and a tack. This one, you don't need to change any code. You're going to read through the code and see if you can understand what it's going to do when you hit run. Okay? So this one you don't really have an answer to. You just need to be thinking about it. Number 4 is touching. We're going to determine if that balloon, so our first variable here, and the tack are touching. Inside the draw loop, drag is touching into the if block. So just like on lesson 15, show me where you have those links and you're not sure where you put these codes, please click on it and it will show you here. We're going to determine if they're touching. So that's our condition that's met in the if statement. Okay, so add a block that is touching. So let's find that is touching. It's in our sprites. Drag that in. Okay, sprite needs to change to balloon. And, okay, there we go, balloon. And the target to tack. Okay. And then you're going to go ahead and run it. So we'll do that one. And you will have to move the arrow keys to determine what's going to happen when the tack hits the balloon. Okay. Number 5. An apple is moving towards a blender. So let's just hit the, sorry, hang on. Okay, so we have to determine the condition first. Sorry, I was going to just show you what it does. We want to use the is touching block again. So just like the last one where we dragged it into the if statement, we're going to check that condition. So you drag it into the if. And if you haven't noticed these things before, the little red box that was just there and now this yellow warning sign, if you hold your mouse over it, it will give you an idea of what is going on with your code that's maybe not correct. Like when I didn't have it in here, it is red because it's not finished. So when I hold my mouse over it, says it hasn't been declared yet. Okay, that'll give you a hint that that line needs some work. Okay, so we would put this is touching. And we want to put the, let's see, determine which one is your sprite and which one is the target. Okay, the shaking motion is already coded in. So all you have to do is add the if statement, the is touching into the if in this one. The challenge though, can you make the apple disappear when it touches the blender? So we're already checking here to see if they are, and then we're moving the blender. So it looks like it's shaking while it's blending up the apple. But if you don't make it disappear, the apple keeps going behind the blender and it looks a little funny. So remember which block in sprites will show or not show that particular sprite. And that's a hint for your challenge. Okay, so that's number 5. Number 6 uses the same screen. It's also the apple in the blender. This one's going to show you how to add a sound. Okay, so we have a new play sound block in world, and it's got the URL, so the address of where that sound is, the file, and we're going to put that inside of the parentheses. Okay, so it will look like that, and you'll put it inside of the if. Super easy, and then it makes noise. Okay, screen 7. When the rainbow touches the horse, it should turn into a unicorn. So let's see what it does right now. Okay, the rainbow moves across the screen. It goes over the top of the horse and nothing happens. Okay, so we're going to need an if. Then we're going to need to put that is touching inside of the parentheses, just like we did on the previous ones. And then inside of your if statement, so in between those two blue sections, you're going to set the animation and change it from the horse to a unicorn, okay, which has already been loaded. So here in your draw loop, you'll want to add an if, put the is touching as a condition for the if, and then inside the loop itself is where you'll put the set animation. Okay, screen 8. The balloon is popping before the tack touches it. Okay, so you're going to run the code and check to see why. Oh, look at that. It's popping way before I even get to it. Okay, so this is going to allow or have you use the debug. It already has the debug blocks in the code. You'll change them from false to true, and then add a new one to check the tack. So find out why the balloon is popping earlier or too early, then use the animation tab to resize the balloon picture so that it does pop at the right time. Okay, number 9 is kind of fun. This is a game. We're going to use is touching to determine if we should increase the score. So we have a score variable, or we'll need a score variable. We have it declared right here on line 8. Okay, we're going to use an if inside of the draw loop. So look at the comments again. Here, draw score. So there you see the text for the score. And this is what allows you to put both the word score and then the actual score that's incrementing in the regular text block. It has quotation marks around the words. That's going to put that actual word on the screen. Look underneath it though, and it has the variable name, but no quotations. Okay, so if you're using the quotations, it will appear exactly as you have written it. But if you want it to display a variable, don't use quotations and make sure you use the variable name correctly. Okay, loop caret back to the right side of the screen. So that looks familiar, doesn't it? We did that with the mushroom in the last game. Make the bunny jump. We've done that before. Okay, so right here at the very bottom, when the bunny touches the caret, add 1 to the score and put the caret back off the screen. Okay, so we want to reset the position, kind of like we did with the mushroom in lesson 15. So here, And after these comments at the very bottom, that's where you're going to add a new if statement. Check if the bunny and the carrot are touching. And then there's 3 things that you need to do inside of that loop. So use the counter pattern on the score variable. Remember, that will look like score equals score plus 1. Reset the carrot's X position. So we know how to change the X position of that sprite and the sprite named carrot, and then set the carrot's Y position to a random number. Okay, these are all things that we've done before. You're just going to combine them and then run it. This is kind of fun. This is a game, and your score goes up and up and up. Okay, so that's screen number 9 and screen 10. All right. This one just says, make some fun things happen when your sprites run into each other. Add at least 2 effects. So we're back to the frog and the mushroom that are looping. Remember, the mushroom loops and the frog is jumping. So we want to add probably an effect that will check if they're touching. And then what happens? Do you want to play a sound? Do you want something to change color or animation or rotate or move or something? But have at least 2 effects. If you would like to, here's the challenge, add a scoreboard to the top of your screen. Go back to screen number 9 on this lesson, and that will show you how to add the score if you'd like to do that too. Okay, that is lesson 16. And I will be putting together videos for 17, 18, and 19 also this week, and then possibly 20, or we'll get to 20 next week. It just depends on how quickly you guys get through these. Okay, thank you.